Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How We Hustle podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Tanya. And we invite you to join us in our unfiltered conversation about the real life hustle of being an entrepreneur. For more information about the podcast, check out howwehustlepodcast.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at How We Hustle Podcast, where you'll get notable quotes from our episodes and updates on live new episodes. So head over to Instagram and follow us at How We Hustle Podcast.
All right. So today we are going to talk about phone sales. And this is something that I'm actually really interested in because this past summer, I haven't really spoken much about this, but I started working as an enrollment coach for a LinkedIn coach. And that really sort of set me on this new path, which I will talk more about later. But I wanted to get really more practice on the phone and learn more about what it takes to enroll high-ticket clients on the phone. So I found sort of a mentor that was looking for some help with his enrollment calls. So we started working together. He started coaching me, and I was doing phone calls every day with his prospects. And it's not something I'm doing anymore because I've kind of turned that around and back into my own business, but it's something I wanted to do on the short term to really get practice and really hone in my skills enrolling clients on the phone and just getting some mileage and getting some expert level help. And in the process of doing that, I really learned a lot about phone sales. And I think that before that, I was doing a lot wrong. And I think that a lot of people are using the phone incorrectly. And I guess the first real question or something to talk about is why use the phone in the first place? You know, especially in this online world we live in, it's very tempting to cut out the phone. And I actually cut out the phone in my last business. But in my last business, I was selling low ticket stuff, so it was okay. But for those of us that are selling high ticket transformational offers, I believe that the phone is really important. Ultimately, because the phone is really just a transformational selling tool. You know, it's a very good way to get to know your clients. It's a very good way to, you know, understand if you can help them. And on that note, you know, the phone, if you are selling a high ticket, if you are selling a transformational offer, you know, an offer that really gets results, you don't want to just work with anyone. You know, like if you have a website and you have a buy now button, then anybody with a credit card can whip it out and buy your service. But if you're a business coach,
ain't nobody gonna do that though.
Yeah, if you're a business coach, you don't want to work with anyone. You know, you want to work with the right kind of person that you are congruent with, and the kind of person you're going to enjoy working with, and ultimately the kind of person that you know that you are confident that you can help, that you can get results for. So you want to work with the right people. And that's part of the reason why a phone call is so important, I believe, if you are, you know, offering a service that's maybe like at least $3,000. If it's low ticket, sure, you can sell it with a buy now button.
Nope.
But
I don't even think that anyone's going to buy it with a buy now button. But that's just my opinion.
No, I said low ticket. If you're selling low ticket, if you're selling something for $100 online, sure, use a buy now button. You don't need to have a phone call. But once you get into the $1,000 plus, I believe a phone call is really important. It really sets up the relationship properly from the beginning. You know, it frames the relationship, especially if you run the phone call properly. And I think the way to run a phone call properly is just to make it clear that you are not there for everybody. You're not like, you know, Tanya, you're a business coach. You're not going to take on any person that is willing to pay. You are only going to take on a person that you can help. And in your case, you work with women, so you're just going to work with women. But
I do have some male clients, but they just can't join my programs.
Yeah, but ultimately, you're not going to work with someone that you don't think you can help, right? Or you don't know that you can help.
No, I don't work with people that I don't want to help. Not about that I think I can. I know I can help those people. I don't want to help
Some people's situation is just, you know, not aligned with what you do, and that's just the reality, right? Like if you are...
I don't attract those people, though.
If you need a chiropractor, you're not going to go to the dentist. It's just that's really the point I'm making. Is just that
No one's going to go to the dentist thinking that they can go to a chiropractor. So I think it's more like you can help those people. It's a matter of, do you want to? Because there are people that you connect with and other people that you don't.
Yeah. So the phone is scary, but it doesn't need to be, right? Like some people think it's scary. When I started doing it, like, yeah, it's nerve wracking because but it's really just in your head, right? It's all about the story that you're telling yourself, that you're bringing onto the call, right? And it's not about selling. It's not about a phone call, an enrollment call for a high ticket. It's not about selling. That is not what sells. If you go onto a call being like, I'm going to sell this person, you're not going to sell them. What I've realized is the best way to sell someone, the best way to enroll someone on a phone call is to get them to see the reality of their problem. It's really to hold up a mirror and get them to see themselves for what's really going on. Get them to, I don't want to say the word pain, but get them to see their pain. If you can get them to connect with the problem that they are having, then enrolling in a solution just becomes the natural product of that. So if you can really serve them to the truth of what's going on in their life, then the sale will come. And also,
can I just cut in here for a minute? Because I actually have a completely different process. So that's the process that works for Mike, but I actually don't use that process. I use a process of speaking about what's possible for them and what they actually want. Rather than focusing on their pain and a solution to their pain, I actually focus on the possibility of what they actually want and how that is actually available to them, and that they can achieve that. So instilling that confidence and that belief in themselves that it's possible for them. If it's possible for someone else, then it's totally possible for you too. And reminding them that it's possible for them, and then providing an option to get that.
I agree with you, and I subscribe to the same approach. I just think that people need to see that there is something missing before they can see that there's something to be had.
See, but I only attract those people. So I don't focus on anyone who doesn't know that yet. They would not book a call with me if they don't know that they have a problem and that this would be the solution. That's just a different approach. I've heard that the other approach a lot. I just take a different approach to that because I don't like to focus on the pain part of it. I'm you already know your pain. And so now it's this is the solution. This is what's possible for you. This is how we can get away from that.
Something that I learned, and I kind of knew this in theory, but I didn't know this in reality until I started really getting mileage with phone calls. But it's about the frame. When you're running an enrollment call, it's so important to hold that frame. And what I mean by that is let's call it the doctor frame. The doctor frame is a term that is used a lot. But you need to hold that doctor frame, meaning you really can't get into this neediness, right? If you are the expert, if you have the solution that they need, if you are the person that's going to provide them with the outcome or the result that they're looking to get, then you need to just hold that frame in terms of you don't need them, they need you, right? So it's called the doctor frame because if you go into the doctor with a broken arm, the doctor has the solution that you need. The doctor can fix up your arm, right? The doctor is not going to act needy.
Well, the doctor doesn't care if you walk out of there with a broken arm because he's not in pain, you're in pain.
Right. So if you were to walk into the doctor's office and the doctor started acting sort of needy, what would that make you think about the doctor? That would raise these...
Needy is creepy.
Yeah, that would intuitively, that would make you second guess the doctor. You'd be like, why is this doctor acting needy if I'm the one with the problem, right? it would probably make you think maybe I should go see a different doctor, right? Because this doctor clearly, has ulterior motives. I mean, Tanya, you and I live in Canada, so it's a little bit different, but the point is hold the doctor frame. And I think the same goes for an enrollment call. Like if someone books a call with you, they've gone through a series of steps to get onto that call. They didn't just land on a call with you. They had to say yes a certain number of times, whether it's, click on your ad or click on your post, go to your calendar page, pick a time, fill out an application, let 24 hours go by and then answer the phone. There's a series of yeses that needs to take place in their mind, or not even in their mind, but in reality, before you're actually speaking to them on a phone. So that person that you're speaking with has already said yes a lot of times. So they have already communicated that they need you, right? So hold that frame and don't be needy. Like if they start acting on the call, but basically like hold control of the call is what I realized. When I started letting go of that call, when I started to make it seem like I needed them more than they needed me, that's when the call falls apart. And it's amazing what you can accomplish on a call. And I don't just mean enrolling. I mean, enrolling, making a sale is great, but even just, connecting with someone and giving them value, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you just hold that frame and just assume that they need you. Like that, they do need you, but that's a mindset thing. If they're on a call with you, they do need you, right? So don't forget that. Don't let yourself slip out of that mindset. And I struggled with this, but the more I did it, the more I just said to myself, like, look, I'm not going to fall out of this frame. And when I just didn't fall out of the frame, even if it felt uncomfortable, like there's times on a call where it might feel uncomfortable, but you just stick with it and they'll respect you for it, right?
Can you give some examples? Because I feel like this is all well and good, but I don't think that people really understand what you're talking about until you give an example. So like if I said, hey, Mike, I am thinking about growing my business, but I haven't been able to do it yet. What would you say?
Okay, so let's say you click on my ad, you watch my webinar, for example, and you book a call.
Okay, well, assume I didn't do that because I'm not going to watch your webinar. So assume that I just booked a call with you.
Well, why would you book a call with me is my question.
Because I said I wanted to grow my business with LinkedIn.
Okay, so you're getting on the phone with me. So by booking a call with me, you are telling me that you want my value, right? So if I get on the call with you and start running my call syntax with you, there might
Which is what? Give me some examples.
Well, the way I would run a call is I would set the frame. So I would let you know up front, be like, this is what we're going to do on the call. And then I would, try and get to the truth of where you're at now. Be like, tell me what your business is at right now. Like, what's going on? Are you getting leads? If not, like, how are you trying to get leads? And just what's going on generally. And that would likely tell me what's the problem with what's happening. And then I would say, okay, well, this is the problem. Like where do you want to go with it? Like what would be the ideal solution for you? And they'd be like, well, I'd really love to be getting 10 leads a week where I'm closing 4 of them and making $20,000 a month in my business. Like, okay, so, I know what the problem is. I know where you want to go with it. Here's the solution. And there are going to be parts in this call where I'm feeling like I'm selling them. But really, I'm not, because they've gotten on the call with me. They've signed up for the call and said, look, I want your insight. So if I just turn off that switch that's saying I'm selling to them, and I just turn on the switch that says, no, I'm not selling to them. I'm serving them, and I'm detached from the outcome. That's another thing too, right? Be detached from the outcome at the end of the call, whether or not you make a sale or not, because that allows you to just not be needy, right? If you are genuinely just showing up to the call for the purpose of serving them to the truth and serving them a solution, you don't have to tell them what you don't have to give them the playbook for how you're going to coach them. but tell them what they need to do to get that problem fixed. Even if they work with you or not, you're still providing them value. You're still serving them. And that, if you detach yourself from the outcome, you're not needy, and you really just show up from a place of, wanting to give them 45 minutes of value, then that, I find, is how you get the best results on a call. Thoughts, Tanya?
I mean, yeah, I agree that we have to focus on not feeling bad about selling, because selling is serving. And if people don't pay you, then they can't transform, because no one's going to transform their business by getting stuff for free. I have seen that many a time. And so they do need you to be a bit pushy. And it's not like, I'll even say to them, like, it's no sweat off my back. Like, I have a successful business. And like, that might be rude in a regular conversation, but it's the honest truth. Like, you need to know this. Like, I don't care if your business doesn't succeed, because my business is succeeding. But
that's the frame.
If you want your business to succeed, I have a solution that will without a doubt help you if you put in the time, energy, and effort and money that is required to make your business a success. But if you stick with what you're doing right now, if you if you stay scared, if you stay safe, you will never, and I can tell you, you will never have a successful business. And it doesn't matter to me if you join my program or some other person's program. I don't care. But whatever one is the best option for you, that's what you should do, because what you're doing is not working. And I see this every day, and I know that no one gets to the top alone. So I don't know a single person that actually has made it without help. I don't know one person that made it to the top without help. And you're certainly not going to be that person. There's a reason that no one gets there without anyone else's help, because I'm not saying that it's impossible, because I think that anything is possible, but it's certainly going to take you a long time. And the reality is that most people are not willing to take that time. So by the time that would come, you would have either given up, hired someone, or you would have been staying exactly where you are, and you would not have gotten to the top. So those are your three options. You can stay stuck, you can give up, or you can hire someone. Which one do you choose? And like, is that comfortable for me? I've been called, I'm not going to swear on this episode, but I've been called every name under the sun on the call. You're a whatever, an ASS or a BITCH. But the reality is that all those people end up turning around and hiring me, because you don't pay for a best friend. If the person is coddling you, if the person is being so nice to you on the phone, well, why are you going to pay them? Because that's not what's going to get you there. Like, coaching or training or telling someone, like, or helping someone or teaching someone isn't always fun. It isn't always nice and sweet and exciting. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's annoying, and sometimes it's like not fun. Is really all I can say. There are parts of growing your business that are scary. There are parts of growing your business that take courage. But if you have the support and the guidance to know that what you're doing, even though it's scary, is going to get you there, you're going to do it. If you don't trust that person, if you don't believe that that person can help you, if you don't think that that person is going to hold your hand through that entire experience, if you don't think that that person is going to like be there when things fall apart and give you a strategy to get from where you are to where you want to be very quickly, then that's not the person for you. If someone's going to like say, oh my gosh, and just talk to you about like, oh, like feeling good the entire time, and like, you're so amazing, you're doing a great job. Like, you don't need a cheerleader. You are not paying for a cheerleader. People don't buy a cheerleader. People pay to get to the result. They pay to get to the Olympics. They pay to get up Mount Everest. They pay to be a successful business owner. They pay to be a successful speaker. They pay to be a success at something. You don't pay for a cheerleader, because I guarantee you your mom or your best friend or your spouse can be your cheerleader. You don't need to pay someone. You're saying you're talking really about the importance of the frame, right? You say that people call you bad names on a call because you're not on the call to
coddle. You're not, you are there to help them and serve them to the truth.
I have to tell them the things that no one else is willing to tell them in service. I'm not saying it just to be mean. I would never say something to be mean to someone or to like make someone lose their confidence in going forward. I'm telling them the truth of what I see. So my job as a coach is to see what the person cannot see. It's to always bring their attention back to the thing that I see that they're not seeing.
And that's what I meant before by holding up a mirror. I wasn't suggesting you be mean to them or make them feel bad for where they're at, but hold up that mirror and just like you just said, help them see what they otherwise weren't able to see. Because when they can see that, that's when they can move on to the next step, which is being able to visualize what they want and then ultimately see the solution.
And I mean, I don't think that you should give them the result, like the how on the call, but I do think it's important to give them to tell them exactly how you help people. Because I think all of these vague conversations are not going to make them want to hire you. But when I talk to people about the ways that I use, how I use Facebook ads to automate their client growth, or Mike, when you talk about the systems that you use to automate leads when it comes to LinkedIn, that's the stuff that people are like, oh, whoa, I didn't know that exists. And when you can show them the things that they don't realize are happening, because to be honest, I think that anyone that hasn't worked with a coach that's techie or strategy wise, that has done these strategies, that they are missing, that there are so many things that they don't know. When my clients do a webinar, for example, they don't realize that there's 20, 30 steps. It's not just putting up a sign-up page and then doing a presentation. That's not what a webinar is. And so for anyone that thinks that that's what a webinar is, you are sorely mistaken. And so if those people are putting up a sign-up page and then doing a webinar and saying, I don't know why it works for everyone else, but it doesn't work for me, that's exactly why you're struggling, is because you are only seeing the surface. You're not seeing the strategy. You're not seeing the steps that are not available out there for free.
Right. So, I think ultimately we're maybe we have a little bit different technique, but we're kind of saying the same thing, right? You don't
be nice.
And you're not on the call to provide free coaching. You're on the call to hold up that mirror, show them what's possible, and tell you how you can help them. And then it's
exactly.
You're not there to give them free coaching because, as we've said before, the more free coaching you give on a call, the more you're killing the call because...
Well, you're making them believe that it's possible for them to do it without you because you're going to give them enough stuff. You're going to give them enough to literally be like, okay, I have something. I'm going to go off and try this. And it's not going to work for them because they don't have the whole story. And so then they're going to be like, oh, this person can't help me because they gave me this strategy and it didn't work for me, when really they just didn't have the entire story. And so I definitely think that, if for anyone who's done a coaching certification, if you have the ICA framework, I help my clients focus on the I and the C, and we don't go into the A.
All right, good. So I think the point is that a lot of people are kind of wary of the phone, but if you are selling something high ticket, if you are offering a transformational outcome for your clients, I think the phone is necessary.
Well, it's actually the best and fastest way to start booking people into your program.
Yeah. And I think that you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you are opting to go a different route than using the phone call. Not just money too, results and impact and all of that. So the phone really is the best way to begin and set up that coaching relationship properly.
And that's a wrap on another episode of How We Hustle. For more information, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.